Hi, everybody. Let me greet. Can you hear me okay? All right. Let me greet everybody. Spring Day. Hello, Carmi, Carla, Aubrey, Mia Satok, Bio Explorer, Erica, JR, Nelvan, Marie, Rebecca. Let me just make her a moderator. Um, Ativa, Ativa Lazy, Eva, Sakura, Elizabeth, Elaine, Ice, Juliet, Amy, Katarina, Beth, Darren, Leah, Rebecca, Amy, Crystal, Bang Luna, Chris, Pink Crystal, Beth, Namhar, and Letitia. Oh, there's suddenly so many of you. Papa, Savage, Gray, Chamomile. Well, I hope you guys are okay. I'm sure that you've heard that um, Yeontan crossed the Rainbow Bridge. So, you know that I'm a dog lover. I have my own dogs. So, um, I'm sure I have some idea on how V actually feels right now because it's just I've lost a dog as well. So I used to um before I got my dog Debak, I used to as a child because I wasn't sure whether I can take care of a dog. I decided to foster a senior dog, and well, I just decided to foster a dog. And when I went to the shelter, there was this really really old dog who looked like he was going to die in the shelter, and the shelter said that he's been in the shelter for like years and they were discouraging me from getting him um because they said that he was going to pass away and it was going to be very hard on me, and I thought, well, if I don't get him, then he's going to die there not knowing how to, like, not knowing what it feels like to have like a human being with him, or like have a home or go for walks and whatever. So I decided to get the dog and take care of the dog. And I only had the dog for like less than a year because he was already very very sick. So he did cross the Rainbow Bridge when he was with me, and it was a short, as I've said, less than a year. But at least I'm glad that I just want to sort of think that at the very least in the last leg of his life he was able to experience how it is to have a family. So, and it was very hard even though it was just less than a year. So I and imagine V having the dog for like since Yontan was very young. So I kind of feel I can't say that I know exactly how he feels, but I kind of feel I kind of know. So it must be very very hard on him. And yeah, so he was like, I guess the only thing is that about dogs is that they can't really talk. So you're just hoping that you're actually giving them the kind of care and love that they need. He was young, only 7. Yeah, but he said, like in one interview, that he explained that Yontan was very, very sick. So he's gone through several operations already, and each time they failed to save him. But at least he like really fought for his life. So you know that he's a strong dog and that he really wants to live because he fought. He fought to stay on. I do not watch dog movies. I was traumatized by the movie My Dog Skip. You gave him a loving home. Yeah, that's what I want to think. Like, just want to think that, you know, at least in the last leg of his life he was able to experience. And they said that dog is very much like in the moment kind of being, like they don't really think about the trauma and whatever, like they're just in the zone, in the moment, the here and now kind of being. So I wanted to, like, in my head, that's what I try to think, That that's what I've convinced myself, that that's what he remembered before he passed away. So, um, hello, please. Tell me sorry for caps. Mickey, what is it? What is it? What is your question, Mickey? Mickey, are you leaving or something? Are you gonna go to work? I don't watch any animal movies. Was forced to watch Old Yellow when I was young. Te. I will still. It will still be more painful to the mom that always take care of Danny. Yeah, I think it was the parents who would take care of Yeontan when he's out of the country or because he's serving. So our dogs are family. Yeah, I'm not much of a dog person, and I still really feel bad. My dog had undergone 3 surgeries in her 9 years. It's not easy for dog parents to undergo a loss. I know. Um, I'm going to, Bio Explorer said, I'm going to listen as I fall asleep. Only got a little last night. These guys are keeping me too busy. They are keeping us busy. So I hope that everyone is celebrating with some of the latest victories that we've gotten. Um, One is that Jungkook is the fastest Asian act, Asian native act to get an album to 1 billion streams. 1 billion sales, sorry, not billion streams. 1 billion sales, total sales in in the US. So that's one of the many achievements that we've had. And then, of course, V had the most number of streams on Spotify for any jazz album. So so those are the things that we need to celebrate. And of course, I think BTS already also became the only act in history to have 7 music videos on YouTube with 1 billion views. So many achievements. And then Jimin had is going to end up in the Billboard Hot 100 for the 19th week. So he and Jungkook are tied on fifth place. Fifth place. So 19 weeks each. Standing next to you for Jungkook and who for Jimin. So the military buddies are also buddies when it comes to the chart. So they're together. But of course, we want to. And then the other thing is that we do need to keep on streaming. I'll be there running wild because he dropped from the chart because of Kendrick and because of Christmas. But let's try to fight for it. So let's try to continue streaming Running Wild, and of course Who. Let's try to just keep Who as far as for as long as we can inside Billboard Hot 100. And then let's of course continue streaming V's Winter Ahead. The thing MMA did with BTS tribute was so wrong. I know. I posted something pretty strong on X on Twitter, and I knew that when I was posting it was pretty strong. But I am actually not that upset because I really don't care about them. I really am in that part, in that headspace where I feel BTS is just way too big for Korea. Like I know BTS would appreciate getting nominated, getting recognized and winning awards in Korea, but I also feel that that's too small for them. So I don't really pay much of an attention to them. The reason I decided to post something very strong is to just try and shake as many armies as I could because many were getting distracted that were not like Melon was actually trending and BTS was not trending. like we were supposed to be trending V and we weren't trending V, we were trending Melon. So I felt like this is strong. Like something strong has to come in for many armies to. I'm sure that armies know that we should be trending them. It's just that sometimes our emotions get the best of us. That's why I decided to post something very strong on Twitter. So, and I also posted it on my Patreon, but I wasn't upset at all. I just really wanted to bring our attention back to BTS. We have three songs that are we need to really, of course we need to trend all of the songs, but we just, for that specific purpose. So I will also, that actually brings me to something that I wanted to show you guys, which is the update on our 1 billion streams. Okay. You see it? Do you see the 1 billion streams? Our update? Okay, let me put you here. Let me make it smaller, a little smaller. Okay, there. Okay, so we need to still maintain Jimin, because he is still inside Billboard Top 100. When we want to keep at least one member there at any given moment. So let's just try to push him and keep him there for as long as we can. So he is at 1.1 billion. Next is Jin. I don't know if it's going to catch up with the astronaut, but November 30, when I checked, it was at almost 80 billion. Sorry, 80 million, not 80 billion, 80 million streams. And then Fake Love, 855. That's not a lot of movement. But this is the first time, this is actually 851, not 861. So, and then Jin has 554. Suga Hegum has 427 from 416. J Hope and RM, people, we need to stream for this too. 265 and 262. Please, we need to stream. These guys need to catch up. The gap is just gapping. So can you please stream for them? Okay, and then we have Jimin, because before who it was actually semi-free, we were tracking. So it's at 392. And then V is very, very close with Love Me Again. It's 980. So we're 20 million away from 1 billion. Jungkook's 3D is at 734, was at 734. So November 30 was the last one that I checked. And then for Dynamite, Butter, My Universe, and Boy with Love, the closest to 2 billion is Dynamite. We are at 1.969. Almost there, people, almost there. So 21 million more, and we will get to 1 billion. And then next one would be the closest. Next would be My Universe at 1.366. Like Crazy is at 1.3 billion. Standing Next to You, 1 billion. Left and Right is 1 billion as well. And then the only song that is on its way to 3 billion is 7 by Jungkook with almost 2.1 billion. So we need to, these are people, please. So these are the 5 that we really need to work on. So these are the 4 that we really need to work on. I just want to remind everybody, do not loop. Okay? Don't loop. You need to stream like a normal human being. Don't keep on looping. There are different playlists. You can use other people's playlists. You can make your own. It's better if you make your own, at least 2 playlists, and then rotate it with playlists of other people. You can also just like shift from one album to another, but don't loop. Okay. And then, so these are the estimated date to when it's going to get to the next billion mark. But 2036, 2035, people, these are not acceptable. Come on. So 2027, that's too far. If they're coming back in 2025, can we please make a push for it? To give it to them on 2020. Maybe it's a little too soon, but I believe in us. If we put our heads together, we can do this. Is this list post anywhere? It's in my Patreon. I update it every 2 weeks. And then there's just a post which I update every 2 weeks, and then I also put it in our community section in for under the BTS community section. So it that I track it every 2 weeks, and then I just nag everybody to stream. The way I'm nagging you right now to please stream 2036 and 2035. Come on, people. We need to stream. Please. 22. Come on. We can do this. Did you all see the announcement of BTS World second season? Oh my God. Yes. I'm going to play it. I don't know how, where, what time, how I'm going to have the time, but I'll play it. Um, Oh, you're welcome, Patty. Okay, I'm still off. JK will be in Disney Plus. Yes, I am still. I think it's starting tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? I think it's starting tomorrow. I can't believe. Okay, we are getting so many presents. We are getting so many presents. And I did visit the exhibit of Jungkook and also the exhibit of Jimin. And have you visited both Jimin and Jungkook's exhibit? I'm streaming RM's Indigo RPWP according to Nemo. RM's Indigo RPWP and Jin's Happy Album. Today here I am okay. So the exhibits, how are they? Okay. So is there anyone here who actually visited, who managed or who was able to visit the exhibit of Jungkook and Jimin? Anybody here? You're all in Nebraska. Okay. So those it's actually very interesting. Two different approaches. It is organized by the same group and held in the same place, and they occupy the same amount of space. Okay. But it's so interesting how the approach of those two differ. So for Jungkook's Golden, I felt like it was more an invitation to take a closer look at Jungkook's journey towards the door of global superstardom. So they actually marked the sections through the different landmarks of his performances. That's how they actually did it. So from the release of Seven to Standing Next to You to his shows to his showcase to the New York Times Square performance, so there were landmarks, and that's how they divided the sections of the exhibit. So it was as if he was taking you to the journey of him getting to that final place, the Times Square performance. As opposed to Jimin, I actually didn't finish uploading Jimin's pictures, so I'll do it next time. But just for this discussion, for Jimin, the landmarks were actually his thoughts, because I think the main it felt like for Jungkook, they were immersing you in his performances. For Jimin, they were immersing you in the music that he created, the where the emotions of the music he created, where it came from. So that's how it felt like. For Jungkook, you were tagging along to the different shows that he did, the different performances, as opposed to Jimin, you were like a friend who was helping, not really witnessing him create his art. So two different, very very different approaches. So right when you enter, there were long lines for both, by the way. Right when you enter, this is what you'll see, the explanation what the golden moments is all about. So it documented the moments that glistered in his distinct shade of gold. Now we invite you to join him in this moment, from concerts filled. So as you can see, it's all shows very much centered on his activities. Concerts filled with passionate cheers to moments when the world gaze was fixed on his achievements. So very much outward. And then there is a section there where they divided it into three, which, and of course he has three different versions of his album: Shine, Solid, and Substance. I'm so I tried my best to take as decent of a picture as I could, but with the amount of people there, that's all I can manage. So sorry for the horrible pictures. So they explained the three different versions: brilliance as an artist, his human side, and his driving force. So shine is his brilliance as an artist, his human side very very solid, and then his driving force, which is substance. Okay, and then there's also a place there where you can actually listen to his music. So you put on the headset and you listen to his music, and what you will hear is only his vocals. The instruments were very low. The levels were very low. So it's very much his voice that you will hear. And then you can see up close and personal the microphone that he was using, the in ear that he was using. And you can, the only thing, you can go as close as you can to everything that they exhibited without having to touch it. You cannot touch it, but you can. So this was under, it was behind a glass case, but you can literally put your nose against against the glass case and really examine the detail of the mic and the detail of the in ear. So it's really as close as you can be to Jungkook without having Jungkook right in front of you, which is kind of fun because you're like, I did not realize that even that. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a detail there that says Jungkook. And then there's a detail here that says Jungkook. So it's like, so small details like that you kind of realize. And then this mic looks so different when they are on, when you see it on TV or on your screen, as opposed to this here. So it's not super solid crystals. There are actual cracks, if you can see that. I don't know if it's because the crystals were falling, or I don't know, but yes, there's the army and the BTS logo. And then and then if you turn to the other side, you will see all the trophies. In the middle is the 1 billion billboard, sorry, but not 1 billion, but the Billboard Hot 100 number one that he got, the plaque from Billboard. And again, it's very close. You can't touch it, but you can go as close as you can. No one is going to stop you unless you touch it. So for as long as you don't touch it, you're good. These are all Melon Awards. And then this is the 1 billion plaque that he got from Spotify. But the middle of it is the Billboard Hot 100. So it kind of gives you an idea on which one they give the most importance to. Okay. So, and then there's like Mama, EMA, VMA, EMA. So, all of that you can see very, very closely. And then you walk farther and you see all of this pictures, which some of this you have already seen, I'm sure. Some of this is included in the CDs, some of it Big Hit actually released. And then there's a video, there's a huge screen, and then the screen actually changes into different poses. Vote BB, okay. And then this pose that you see here, you can actually recreate here. So you see there's a cue. You can recreate that picture here. So there's the picture, and then you can recreate it here. So I didn't recreate it, my mom did, but I did not ask for her permission, so I can't show you. And then there's this picture is gigantic. It's about about 5 feet in height. So you can see the pores of his skin. So if you go really close, you can actually see the pores of his skin. You will be able to see the details of the the lip piercing that he has. And then they also displayed all of the wardrobe that he wore for the different appearances in music video. And this has no glass case. So this it has no glass case. That's why I was able to really go close to it to take a picture, because I know you guys love details. By the way, for my Patreon subscribers, I will upload all the 525 pictures that I took. And you can just download and look at it if you want. I'll divide it into section so that you will pretty much know where I was. Is he a big boy? He is. I'm assuming he's about 5'10" and a half, or yeah, maybe 5'10" and a half, maybe pushing 5'11. And then Jimin is about 5'9". That's my estimate based on the height of the clothes that they displayed. So you can go really really close and see the details. And the person, the organizer, said that they don't know if they washed the clothes already, but they got the clothes and they didn't wash it when it got to the US. So how they displayed it however it was sent. Okay, so the details, by the way, that I took as many close-ups of the clothes that he wore, and I'll upload it in my Patreon. Okay. And then this is another, I'm sure this is familiar to you. And I also try to get as close as possible to the fabric so that you can see how it is. And then a lot of pictures on the wall. So majority, I'll say a good 90% of the exhibit is actually pictures, and I'll say 50% of those we haven't actually seen. I don't know why he is there. He's there. I did not pay attention to him. It's just Jungkook I was paying attention to. And then what I did was, in each of that picture, I actually took a close up so that you guys can see it. So for example, this and this two is here. So there's in the pictures that I will upload in Patreon, you will see all of that. I took a close up picture. I also took a close up picture of his tattoos, which you will see in a bit. And then, so this is what I was talking about. Per section, it is divided by his appearance, like what milestone that is, what show or performance he did, and then they would display the clothes that he wore. Okay. So this is, I'm sure this is familiar to you. This is the clothing. I also took a very, very close shot of that. Um, 5'8" is not short. 5'8" is not short. Okay, so that so you can for I was able to estimate um his height, because as I've said, the clothing that they displayed is as size. So they didn't shorten it. They displayed it as Big Hit actually sent it to them, and they were told that it was not altered. So if you actually stand beside them, beside the statue, you will be able to gauge your height against their height. So my estimate is he's about 5'10", 5'11", something like that. And then Jim is about 5'9", maybe 5'9", 5'8" and a half, 5'9", 5'9" and a half. Okay. And then this is a close up of of his tattoos, because I know that you want to see a close up of his tattoo. Um, there is a picture there. I tried my very very best to really come close to it, but because of the lighting, if I go really close, then my shadow would actually cover the the image, and so I this is the best that I could do. So there's the close up. But if you're there, you will actually be able to see the details of the tattoo. Like you'll see like the texture of his skin, the texture of the tattoo. But I tried my best. You know, that's what you get. This is my best, I guess, as a photographer. So there, Policy is the name of the tattoo artist. He put it there. So okay. And then this is one of the nicest pictures there. Actually, I just like the expression in his face. Whenever I go into a room or a section, I will take a wide shot of the room and then a wide shot of the walls, and then take a picture of each of the pictures. So that's another view. So this is the upper side of his arms. So that's a close up of the tattoo there. Again, I will upload this in Patreon so you can see it. I also love this picture. So there. So this is this clothing. You can go closer to each of the picture, and you can go closer to the clothing again for as long as you don't touch it, and you don't take a video. Okay. So there. He's so cute here. Huh? Art Macne is very cute. I also love this picture. This picture, oh, this is not the life size picture, but there is a picture there that they said is life size. Like that is the accurate height and build of Jungkook. There. And then this section is very interesting. So this is when you enter, this is what you see. This picture here, this is what it looks like. That is the picture. And you can recreate it. You can recreate this picture there. So on the and this the end of the room is this. So you can recreate his picture, sit there and have your own version of Jungkook's photos. So more photos there. This is another clothing that he wore for one of the shows. Again, I tried to come as close as I could to the shirt, to the jacket. Okay, so this is another section where you can actually listen to some more songs of his and only listen to his vocals without the music. Um, there, and then when you enter this section, sorry, when you enter this section, there's a girl here that will give you a photo card here. So not a photo card, a golden ticket. Golden ticket. They'll give you the golden ticket. And they also give you a photo card of Jungkook. There. Okay. So you go in and you will see all the other clothing that he wore. You can, for as long as your feet don't cross the red line, the red carpet, your arms can cross the can cross the red rope, so that you can take a closer look at all the clothing that he wore. So this is one sample of how close I got. So you can see the details of all the pins. I thought these were nice. Um, the fabric is like felt, brushed. That's it. That's a term. It's brushed. The fabric is brushed. He looks like his feet are small. The feet of the mannequin does not represent his actual size. Um, but there is a shoe there that he actually wore. So one of this, was it this one? Yeah, in one of this, I believe, or but one of the statues, that one of the mannequins that they actually used, they actually had the actual shoes of Jungkook. It's not small. Okay, it's not short. And then more photos. This was so cute. This is one of my favorite scenes in the music video, by the way. He was inside the coffin. This is another one. I'm sure you all remember this. He wore this in the showcase. This is one of my favorite on some of his. So it's there. So again, I try to go as close as possible to the fabric so that you can see the details. Okay, so that I think is my takeaway. It was really more like they were inviting you like to just go with him through his journey until the end. There's more pictures. As I've said, I took like 525 pictures. So there were pictures of his performance in the Times Square, and I think that was, they considered that the highlight of his first, of his debut. That was the highlight, his show in Times Square. um so as opposed to Jimin, I'm going to finish Jimin and I'll do it in the next live stream. Jimin was much more, even the way that they actually laid out the the pictures, his was more intimate, and the focus was really about the lyrics that he wrote and the melodies that he created, although there were common themes. Like, for example, there's also a section for Jimin's exhibit where you can listen to his audio, and his audio only. You don't, it's very, the instruments were very low, and you're really listening to the audio. So and then Jimin's is divided into two major sections, which is for face and for muse. And the difference in how they designed the sections were astounding. You can really see how it transitioned from face to muse. The others, comment that I have for Jungkook's is that I don't like the merch that they sold. I don't think that, I mean, I'm willing to pay. I think I've mentioned to everybody that they are my only books, and BTS are my only luxuries. I don't really buy a lot of stuff. As you can see, I keep on repeating the same shirt and the same jacket. So I don't spend a lot of stuff. Like, I don't have a lot of luxuries. So when it comes to BTS, I'm like, I'm okay to spend. So if I seen something in the merch section that I think is worth the price that they were selling, even if it's a little overpriced, but it was just not good quality. They only had a shirt and some photo cards. Um, and they weren't good quality. So I felt like, I'm not gonna buy it for $50. Like, I would be willing to shell out $50 for a good quality shirt, even if it is an overpriced shirt. But that was just bad quality. In Jimin, the quality a little improved a little, but still it's not the same. It's not the kind of quality that I would get from Weavers. But there were other stuff there, like keychains. There were caps, which was sold out so early. I think armies are just millionaires for you to sell out the caps. I went in the first week and I was told like it was sold out. It's like they told me that I have to get there very, very early in the morning if I wanted to get some caps, because it's the first one that goes that goes. So okay. Eva said, I agree, the merch is not good. Miki said, from 7, I only bought the jewelry tray. Everything is too masculine for my taste, but I bought Namjoon's indigo shirt. You mean from Weavers, Miki? You bought it from Weavers. Eva hats were sold out too. Me too. I think Suga is really thin, petite even. He's not thin. So in the are you a member of my Patreon? In the exhibit, in the Grammy exhibit, so like more than half of the entire exhibit for Hybe artists, the venue, almost half of it was devoted to BTS. And in one section, I think there were 3 sets of clothing. Um, and those were the actual clothes that they wore for, I think it was, I want to say take two. I want to say take two. It's still uploaded in my Patreon. And so it was actual size. Like, they also didn't alter the shirts and the pants and the length of the pants and the length of the shirts. He's not petite. He's actually bigger. I mean, wider than Jimin. Way wider than Jimin. Jimin is the smallest this way. The smallest this way. But I think Suga is the smallest this way. Suga's, yes, he's like Sugar shoulders. Like, it's not wide as Jin's, but he's not petite. We wish they done for V Expo a better job. V Expo? We had an exhibit? Okay. But the exhibit of V is not in relation to his work. Those were just photos. Those were like just the photos, just separate thing. So the exhibits of Jimin and Jungkook were related to their work. It was related to their albums, but the exhibit of V, that was just a separate thing. It's not related to Layover. You bought Eva said, I bought the tote bag and sweatshirt. Oh, I did not buy the sweatshirt. I bought the tote bag and key rings. Jimin is thinner. He's smaller this way. Jimin is the smallest this way. I don't like, yeah. Leanest. He's the leanest. Suga has broad shoulders. Yes. Army spending power is insane. I know, right? Like last time I showed you that the photo card of Jimin sold for like 2200. I'm like, that's rent, man. That's mortgage. Jimin has a dancer buddy. Correct, yeah. And I think he is consciously keeping it that way because he likes dancing and he is lighter when he is shaped that way. So I'm guessing that he's gonna go on a diet after the military because he would probably want to get his dancer buddy back. Okay. So did you like that? Did you like seeing the pictures of the exhibit? I wish I could like do a better job in taking pictures. It's just that there are a lot of people. So I also have to be considerate of them. I can't like stay in one place far too long because I know other people are waiting. I actually tried going as early as I could because I was thinking maybe there will be less people if it is morning, but no, it's just sold out. So, you know, next next live stream I will do Jimin's. It's so different. It's so different. And also in Jimin's exhibit, they actually put the papers where he wrote the lyrics for Face and for Muse. So it was there. I'm sure it's a copy, but at least you can get a I mean if you have one of the Weverse version of his CD, then you will have that the lyrics sheet, but there it's bigger. um, Elizabeth V is not allowed to eat salads or lettuce. International armies have warned Hybe and Big Hit. BTS Forever 7. I like V Buddy now. Hope he wouldn't diet much. He can still groove. He can. Absolutely. Sunny said dancers are strong, not stick skinny. They have no body fat. Muscle. Jimin is too skinny and set me free. Not healthy. He worries me with his extreme dieting. Gail said, "Thank you, Fairlane. That was very kind of you to take all them for us." Yeah, of course. If you are a member of my Patreon, I will just upload. I'll divide the pictures into sections so that you know what you're looking at, and then you can just download them and take as close of a look as you want in certain clothing or whatever. Okay, so I'm sure that you've also heard um, about the new jeans Mama Roach issue. And uh, have you? Have you all guys read the Dispatch article? Oh God, the drama. I know, right? Don't you find it entertaining? So much came out today. I know. Um, you have not read it. I am surprised that some has haven't actually read it. Okay. So I will go through some of the highlights of the Dispatch article. So the short of the story is that Dispatch published this bombshell article debunking some of the claims of Mama Roach and some of the claims of the five girls. So, and they had receipts. So we're just gonna go through them, and then we're actually gonna pause. I know that a lot of us don't like her and we want her to be put in her place, but I also want to encourage everybody to be objective. Always remember that what may be moral may not necessarily be legal, and what may be legal will not necessarily be moral. And what we know is different from what we can prove in court. Okay, so before we get into that, let me just phrase it this way. I am not a fan of Dispatch. I do think that they impede in people's private lives too much. Um, but freedom of expression actually cuts both ways. This is something that I said in my Patreon. The it cuts both ways. So if you want to enjoy freedom of expression, do know that other people will also have to enjoy freedom of expression. And the thing is that we get to say the things that we want to say to people who don't want like us about the things that they don't want to hear, right? So You get to say the things you want to say to people who don't like you about the things they don't want to hear. But in the same breath, people who you don't like also get to say the things that you don't want to hear. And the only way we know freedom of expression is actually working is when both things are happening. So I know that a lot of people are sensitive about, oh, this is propaganda. They're brainwashing people. Always remember that what you feel to be right is what other deems to be very, very wrong. And you can look at it this way, like religion. You have a certain faith, and you're very, very sure that your faith is correct, but then other people have their own faith and they are sure that their faith is also correct. So that's just, so it doesn't mean that I like Dispatch all of a sudden because of what they did. I think that many of the things that they do is unethical. But again, something that is unethical doesn't necessarily mean it is legal. Remember that they were the ones who published the story about Suga. They were the ones who first published it and they kept on it. And they were one of the people who took a picture of him when he reported to the police station for questioning. So I still don't like them. I don't think I ever will. But I don't like them in the same way I don't like many other media companies and many other media journalists. So whatever it is that they are doing, everything is protected by the law. So always remember this phrase, dura lex sed lex. So for all the journalists out there, this is something that we have been taught in journalism school. The law may be harsh. I'm sorry, it's wrong spelling. The law may be harsh, but that is the law. Another phrase that you should always remember is expresso unius est exclusio alterus, and that means the expression of one thing is the exclusion of another. So in the law, if you include something, then everything else is excluded. In the same breath, if you exclude something, everything else is included. What is not prohibited is allowed. Whatever Dispatch is doing, it is allowed no matter how despicable it may be. All right. Now, on to the article that they published. I will just go through some of the highlights. Okay. This part that they published are taken from Mama Roach's Telegram. So she did learn her lesson and stopped using Kakao messages, and she shifted to Telegram, thinking that it is encrypted. So she's probably thinking, oh, this shit is encrypted. It's not going to get leaked. Somehow, Dispatch found a way to his Telegram. So these are some of the messages that they got. So this is the original message. Okay, this is the original message. And this part is the translated one. So working hard while enduring disgust, it feels like I'm doing something good for someone else. It's a waste to feed those reckless kids. And she was referring to newjeans. This statement, this is our lift from the article of Dispatch. Excuse me. This statement offers a glimpse into Mama Roach duality. It offers that she fundamentally does not respect the artist because of the way that she is addressing the artist. According to Mama Roach, new jeans are simply reckless kids, and her role is to endure the disgust. Okay. Um, According to the Dispatch article, whenever minheejin or Mama Roach faces an unfavorable situation, she often claims she has no recollection of it. So remember when her Kakao talk messages were leaked, she would often say, oh, I don't really remember the context of that. How can I remember text messages from 3 years ago, blah, blah, blah. However, remember that Mama Roach, actually called new jeans dog fat. She called them dog and fat kids. And apparently, that message wasn't from 3 years ago. It was just from 3 months prior. So it was leaked May. It was leaked April. Sorry. It was leaked April. The Kakao Talk message was leaked April. And that message was taken January of the same year. So it's impossible, almost impossible that she would not remember with that amount of time. Okay. Another thing that they disclosed is that they actually obtained messages sent by Mama Roach to the family of newjeans members, so to the parents and family members. And she was asking if the YouTube live broadcast of the five girls was supposed to happen at 7 o'clock on that day. So it isn't true that no one knew about it. She actually knew, and she was asking the parents if it was supposed to happen at 7 o'clock. Another thing that they disclosed is a picture of Henny meeting Mama Roach just before the National Assembly. So they people are calling Henny liar because she claimed that no that she decided on her own, and then apparently she met with Mama Roach before the National Assembly. This picture is of her on her way of Mama Roach on her way to meet the chairman of Davo Link. It is a company. It's a company. And it was supposed to be the company that was going to invest in her. Okay. And she was according to dispatch, uh they saw a three-way meeting. This one, dispatch captured a three-way meeting between Mama Roach, the chairman of Dabo Link, and Uncle B. Uncle B is the uncle of one of the New Jeans member. Okay, so Uncle B or Mr. B, that's the uncle of one of the New Jeans member. Apparently, Uncle B is the one who bridged Mama Roach with the chairman of Davo Link. And she is asking Davo Link to invest in her. She also, in the article of Dispatch, she actually asked the chairman if she can bring the five girls with her. And at that time, she was still the board of director, a member of the board of director. Sorry, a member of the board of Ador. So that would be breach because she's not supposed to do that. Now, Chairman A, the chairman of Davo Link, appointed two people as board of director, as a director in Davo Link, and these two people are close associates of Mama Roach. However, if you would remember, it was leaked that Mama Roach was looking for an outside investor. And she immediately released a statement denying that she was talking to any investor. Okay. So what happened was that the the board of directors meeting didn't take place because suddenly Mama Roach denied any association with them. So Chairman A eventually fired the two board of directors that were close associates of Mama Roach. um, Now, another shocking thing that they disclosed is this part. This is a Telegram message, remember? And she said, this is Mama Roach talking. I was shamelessly flirting with blank. So, blank is supposed to be a senior director in Hybe. Okay, so she was telling somebody that she was shamelessly flirting with one of the senior directors of Hybe. And she said, I sat close and told them to come closer because I couldn't hear them. So it was like she was teasing the guy, like, come closer, come closer. I don't know how to flirt. Damn it. Okay. I feel like, and then she said, I feel like if we sleep together, if they have sex, they'd completely fall for me. That's what she said. So she in her mind, she's irresistible. And I admire her confidence. I really admire her confidence. Imagine saying that all you need to do is sleep with me and you will fall in love with me. Are you that confident? I am not that confident. So, when I read it, I was like, girl, more power to you. Okay. Um, it's not, and then she said, it's not that I want to seduce them with my body. Oh my God. Okay, supermodel. But if sleeping together makes things easier, then I might consider it. So I'm like, okay, so the assumption is that they would want to sleep with you, right? That's confidence, man. You go. That was my initial reaction. Honestly, when I first read this, I'm like, dude, the confidence. Slow clap. Okay. So now there are questions as to how dispatch actually managed to get a hold of these messages, because this is Telegram, so this is encrypted. That is why a lot of people actually like communicating and using Telegram, because it's encrypted, and when it is encrypted, it means nobody else can read it except the person, the people that are communicating in the platform. So it means that whoever leaked this would either be her or the person she was talking with, right? If this is one on one. If this is a group chat, then it could be one of the people that were in the group chat. That is the beauty of Telegram. It's encrypted. Okay. So the question is, a lot of people are asking, then who sent dispatch all of these messages? And there were some talks that it's actually one of the parents of New Jeans. And they are thinking that it is the parent, one of the parents of Herin. Herin. Now, there are also speculations that Uncle B, the person who bridged Mama Roach with the chairman of Davao Link, is actually the uncle of Herin. All right. So these are just speculations. I don't know where they're getting this. I'm just communicating this with you because I am so entertained. I want you to be entertained with me. Okay. Now, so we don't know who actually is the one who is the source of all of these messages and all of this leaked information. Now, this is just my take. If it is true that Uncle B, the person who linked Mama Roach with the chairman of Davao Link, is the uncle of Herin, I wouldn't be surprised if it is also the parents or one of the parents of Herin who eventually leak these messages. That they will be the one, that parent will be the one to blow the whistle. In other words, because that means that they have some background in corporate business, in corporate culture, and they kind of know that whatever is happening right now shouldn't be happening in this, because they're in that world. So I'm not surprised. Okay. Now, question is, someone is asking a question here. So did Mama Roach manage to have sex with the director of Hybe? No. So the director, so Meep is actually saying it's not Herin, it's Hyein. Yein, not Herin. Okay. Yein's uncle. Okay. According to me. So, did she manage to have sex with the director of Hybe? No. So the director of Hybe managed to say no. So I guess all the confidence didn't work. Damn it. Okay. All right. So the question is, are this acceptable in court as evidence? Right. So all of this expose, all of this screen caps of Telegram messages, are this acceptable in court? So, number one, it depends on how it was obtained. So, one thing that we do need to understand is before the court to actually accept something as an evidence, it has to be legally obtained. That has to have been obtained legally. The question is, how did they obtain this screen caps and messages and documents? Now, in South Korea, if two people are talking, for as long as one of the people who are talking, or a group of people who are talking, as long as one of those actually consented to releasing the conversation, that's legal. So if the person who leaked all of these Telegram messages is actually one of the people that is in this conversation, then that would be of legal evidence that may be used in court. But the other question is, relevant to what? Like, acceptable to what? Like, what is the case? If you're showing me Telegram messages and we're hearing a criminal case, someone killed somebody, did the Telegram messages reveal who the killer is or who the murderer is? Excuse me. So that's the first question. Like, if relevant to what? What is the case that is being heard? Being photographed, the other thing we do need to remember that Material evidence is different from circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence is just by accident. It's just circumstantial, just happened. It could have just happened. There, you will not be able to prove a direct link. So being photographed with Davo link officials aren't conclusive. So, for example, I saw J Hope. I took a photo with J Hope. It doesn't mean J Hope knows me, right? I could show that picture to the world and say, hey, I'm friends with J Hope. Nope. You just took a picture. That's what it is. It doesn't mean that you are friends with J Hope. So the same thing happens here. She could be taking pictures with the Davo Link officials and meeting with them. It doesn't mean that they're meeting about investments or that they're actually meeting, that they know each other that intimately at all. Okay. So for them to actually establish a link that she was actually talking with Davo Link, Hybe, Ador, or Dispatch should have something more concrete and something more direct that will prove beyond reasonable doubt that she was actually looking and talking with Dabo Link to get investments while she was still with Ador. Okay, now for Hani meeting with her before Hani actually made an appearance in the Korean National Assembly. So what? They met. So people are saying, or in the article of Dispatch, they're saying that this yellow envelope is the invitation from the National Assembly. How did they know? It could have been any other paper, right? To us, we could say, come on, it's so obvious. To us, it's obvious, but to the court, they don't work with the obvious. They work with material evidence. So unless there is actually some proof that that is the invitation from the National Assembly, then we don't have a case. The other thing is, even if it was the National Assembly invitation, so it doesn't prove anything. It doesn't mean that it was actually Mama Roach who convinced Henny to appear in the National Assembly. They just met. It doesn't mean anything yet. Okay. Even if Henny actually lied and said, no, I did not speak with her, lying doesn't equal criminal offense. It is I don't know if you know this, but lying is actually not illegal. So if she lied about this, it doesn't mean that she should go to jail or whatever. Okay, now in this very entertaining exchange about her flirting with the executive of Hybe, about sleeping with them, thinking that if she has sex with them, they're gonna fall for her. This proves that she is willing to use sex to get to the top, but it doesn't prove that she committed something criminal. Sleeping around isn't necessarily criminal. If she sleeps with somebody who's married, that could be criminal, but it has no relation to this case. So, but this one, if the other executive is actually single and she slept with that executive, that's fine. It is not illegal. Now, the other thing I don't like, and I saw this post a lot of people were posting this on X and Facebook and Twitter, is that they're saying that because of this, she gave women in leadership a bad image. And hell to the no. She does not represent women leadership. She does not represent women in general. What she did is all her own doing and has nothing to do with her gender. Just want to put it out there and want to make this clear. In the same breath, if men do something bad, it doesn't have anything to do with their gender. It's just them being stupid. So let's not get the gender discussion into this. Okay. Um, the thing is that what this does, this whole expose did, is Dispatch being able to play the same game that Mama Roach is playing, public opinion. This is all that it is going to come down to, unless they can actually connect Mama Roach with the intention to get investors outside of Hybe during her tenure as a CEO and as a board of director. Uh, the only thing, the closest document, the the document that is closest to a material evidence that Dispatch published is the name of the two directors that the chairman of Davo Link appointed, which are supposedly close associates of Mama Roach. But just because they're close doesn't mean that they were put there because they're going to eventually, because eventually Mama Roach is going to move to Dabo Link. So that those are the questions that you sent me. Do you have any more questions about this? Um, Mama Roach getting beat at her own game. Mandy March said Mama Roach getting beat at her own game. Public opinion. Okay. Oh, we have a lot of people here. Exactly. Let Hybe fight on court and let Dispatch the public opinion fight. Yeah. So if you're going to see a lot of people, if you see some posts on Facebook and on Twitter saying that Dispatch is under the payroll of Hybe, do remind them that they're actually the ones who started this mess with Suga, which we all absolutely despise and hate. So, no, Dispatch, for better or for worse, is just doing their thing. And sometimes they get it right, 90% of the time they get it wrong. So, not, we sometimes they're just doing their own thing. And they're brutal in that they don't really care what's happening. They don't really care who gets hit for as long as they get to do what they get to do, what they want to do. Will question from Lara, will short pants be sued by breach of contract if Hybe if they insist on what they want? Um, if they start doing things that is in violation of their contract, for example, um, actually going actually going on national TV and saying those things, the things that they said, uh, that's actually breach. That is a foundation for breach, but it's not yet a done deal, right? Meaning it's not that strong of a breach because they complained and they badmouthed a lot of people, including bangsihyuk. But and that could be considered breach, but it is not a very very strong piece of evidence. One strong piece of evidence that is undeniably a breach is if they start accepting checks and job and they directly get paid and they don't get paid through Hybe or Ador, that is breach. Because in their contract, all their jobs have to go through Hybe or Ador. So they cannot transact with anybody directly. If they do that, that is breach. If, for example, and I think, uh, and I think there is going, I don't think there is any stupid company, especially if it's an international company, that will do business with them directly. I don't think anybody is that stupid to do that because Hybe and Adore. I've said this in the live stream. Hybe and Adore is they're probably going to welcome that so that they can make an example out of that company. If somebody tries to actually do business with them directly, they're going to drag that company to court, and most likely the court of South Korea will favor Hybe. Um, so they want that to happen so that they can make an example of that company. But honestly, I do not think anybody is that stupid. um Another breach would be if they start releasing music not under Hybe or Adore, because their IP is under Hybe or Adore. um Oh, remember. The other thing is, so somebody sent me a. So do you know that you do know that New Jeans actually they have their own app, right? Phoning. They didn't want to join Weavers. They have their own app, phoning, and apparently Minji, the leader of the group, posted something that sort of shades Suga. The dates of the posts actually match. Uh, it was when the news of Suga's scooter incident broke out, when he actually they broke out because Sugar wrote a letter directly to the public, talking about what happened. So the day that it was published, Minji, the leader of New Jeans, actually posted something on phoning saying something like, "Oh, the news is interesting." Something like that. Like the news is actually crazy and it's like entertaining. It was something like that. It's not the a direct diss towards Suga, and that's why I also am not inclined to 100% believe it. But she said something like, "I'm very aware of what's happening," something like that. Like, "I'm very updated with the news, and this one is very entertaining." And it was the news that was prominent that day. So many people interpreted it to be a shade towards Suga. Um, so yeah, wanted to update you on that. And that, if you put that together with Henny reacting to Jungkook expressing support for them, um, they're inching closer to my "I don't like them" list. So they're very, very close to my "I don't like them" list. She went after gloves off. So she did not directly mention it. The same way Hanny did not directly mention that she was reacting to Jungkook. But it was the biggest news of the day, and she posted on the day. The hours checked, meaning by the time she posted that message, when by the time Minji posted that message, that she was very much updated with the news and it was entertaining. um it was after the news already broke out. So I'm like, you don't be messing with BTS. Like, you can do anything. You should have left BTS alone. I have been too lenient. I think I am. And this is me reminding everybody. Remember, I told you guys that if somebody shows you who they are, believe them. And I always try to live by that principle in my life because I don't want to get crossed anymore. I'm sick of that. But that's something like, if they show you who they are, believe them. And so I feel like they have been continuously showing us who they are. So you know, they are burning all the bridges. They are. So the only reason I still am giving them the benefit of the doubt is I'm not sure because she didn't mention Suga. Minji didn't mention Suga. She's also my bias in Eugene's, but she didn't mention Suga. So it's like, okay, this is the reason. Multistan 95 said this is the reason why many were upset that Jungkook spoke in support of them indirectly. These girls are brats. Yeah, but also remember, Jungkook knows how it is to be young and in the spotlight because he has been there. And Jungkook has a golden heart. He is very compassionate. Um, we see that day in and day out. We see how compassionate and how gentle and how kind He is. So also, I'm not surprised that he supported the girls because he's compassionate. He's very, very kind. Sakura said, "At this point, I'm upset. I'm 20, like Hani, and I'm afraid they won't learn unless their careers sink." I do think that take a great amount of it's going to take it's going to take a lot for them to learn. Let me just put it that way. I'm trying not to. It's going to take a lot for them to learn. So they do have to get to experience something drastic for them to learn. Thank God Jungkook has six Yoons. Correct. I'm so thankful that he is surrounded by good parents, great parents that love him very, very much, who are also mature. He has a Young who also is looking after him, and six more Youngs who look after him. Okay, Me Too said Jungkook was trying to protect the artists, but the artists, I know. Okay, but the thing is that as I've said, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt because they didn't actually mention names, so we're still not sure. Although the post of Hani, I'm pretty sure, was a response to Jungkook's post. It's just that it, I know it's hard to give them the benefit of the doubt. Um, it wasn't a straightforward message. Artists are not guilty. Nomadic Kitty said, I find it odd that New Jeans did press conference right as V song debuted. I'm done with them. Period. Well, that is something that we know in this channel already. If you are a regular of this channel, I've been mentioning several times that we can expect something to go off each time a BTS member is going to release something, because that's her ultimate goal, to try and destroy BTS and try and destroy um, armies. And so that's why I constantly remind on Patreon, on Twitter, on YouTube to stay focused. There is a release coming up. I'm sure I'm talking about V's Christmas song. So with Crosby, so I'm sure something is going to come out again. When J Hope finally releases his album and announces his world tour, something big is going to come again. And then as we come closer to the release, to the end of the service of the other members, of the five other members, then more chaotic it's going to become. It's going to become even more just insane. Things are going to come out. Stories are going to be invented. If they can't find dirt, mark my word, if they cannot find dirt, they will make it up. I'm telling you, they'll make it up. If they cannot find anything, they'll make it up. Because remember what Mama Roach said, it doesn't have to be true. It doesn't have to be true. All she needs is for that thing to hit the headlines, and many people are going to latch onto it. And in the article of Dispatch, they actually said that. They said that she's just spewing so many lies that it's taking them a lot of time to disprove each lie, that by the time they disprove one set, 10 more came out. So they can't keep up. In other words, they can't keep up with her lies. And this is a big news agency. If a big news agency is finding it hard to keep up with her lies, imagine other people. If you're just an individual, she's going to continue doing that. She will continue doing that. She's going to continue spewing lies. And if she cannot find any dirt on BTS, she's going to make one up. She's going to make several. She's going to make hundreds and then just let it roll. Because she knows that it's going to take time for people to disprove those lies. And by the time that some of her lies are disproven, new lies are coming up. So be ready. Okay, SD said, I think she straight up said in the dispatch that if Hybe does anything against New Jeans after first YouTube thing, that they would accuse someone in Hybe. Yes, she said that as well. Um, okay, I low key have Marcella said, I low key have hope for Hayin. She was an army. For Yein, she was an army. It kind of there's usually a weak link, right, in a group, a weak link. So I'm not really surprised that it's one of the parents that's caving in, if it is true that this leak actually came from New Jeans parents. So I'm not surprised, because there's usually one of them. So it's rare for a group like BTS where each member is solid. That's also one of the reasons BTS is such a different group, because they're so solid. That's one member not falling off. They're like, no, we're going to be doing this together. So what the six implies, lol. Five of them plus Mama Roach. Peer pressure at New Jeans' age is really strong. Okay. Hannibal. So Yen said Hannibal Donitel and Minji are the nastiest in that bully pants. Okay, let's not bring Yeontan into this. Let's not bring Yeontan into this. Bellite Tricks. Mickey is asking, what do you mean? Post pictures of who? Mickey is asking. Okay. So that's another thing that I want to share with you guys. I don't know if you're aware of this guy. His name is Johnny Somali. Are you aware of this guy? Do you know who he is? So he is a streamer, a Twitch streamer, apparently. And he has been going to different countries, Japan, different Asian countries, and he would desecrate landmarks, monuments, and important places that we hold dear in our country that we consider to be sacred. He would desecrate them. Now, a Korean Marine actually stood up to him and punched him. So that's a Korean Marine there. He was so pissed with Somali that he punched him, so he fell down. And now they got Somali. He's actually being indicted in South Korea, but they also got the guy for punching him. So for right now, the Marine is in jail. He's gonna fight the charges, but I do think that they should just let him free because he's trying to defend his own countrymen. So just want to make it clear. Just want to encourage people to be respectful of the country that you are visiting. Don't bring your sensitivities or your issues or your concepts of self-importance in other countries. Like, for example, if you are not from the US and you come to the US, please observe our social decorums in the US, right? But in the same breath, if Americans visit Asian countries, please observe and respect our social decorums in those countries. In Japan, don't be noisy when you're in the subway. I don't know if you know this, they're very, very sensitive when it comes to noise. You go to the subway, you will not hear a thing. Like everyone is so quiet because they don't want to cause disturbance. And then you see Americans talking loudly on the phone or talking with each other so loudly. You see people putting their feet on on the seat of the plane. It's so disgusting. That is not how they do it in Japan. So please be very, very respectful. Also remember that those countries we do not share. Like if you are in the Philippines or Japan or South Korea, we don't share these countries do not share the history of your country. So if you have issues in your country, don't bring it in Asian countries and expect us to observe the same laws or social decorums. We just do it differently. Um, I have one example, and I'm going to be very, very blunt about this. Um, in the Philippines, the N word is a very ordinary word. We use it a lot. It's just like a word for us because it's a Spanish word for black, the color black, not the person black. So we use it a lot. It's just something that we use, and I have absolutely no interest in changing my country's language just to accommodate the sensitivities of another person. So if you come to our country, you just have to expect that you're going to hear that word a lot. But if they come here, if Filipinos come here, then I make sure that I tell them you cannot use that word here. And under no circumstance will you ever say that word. So there's mutual respect. And in the same way, if you go to different places in our country, there are places that we hold very, very sacred. So please don't desecrate those places. Don't, you know. So I just felt so off with this guy of all the things that he's doing in different Asian countries. And I'm very happy that there's finally one country standing up and actually going to indict him. They set him free in Japan, and some other countries, but I hope that South Korea is actually going to really put him in jail and keep him there. He said he would slap a BTS member or Twitter, but he deleted it after. On Twitter, he said that, Places like Negros Oriental, not racist over here. Look at the map. Oh yeah, so that's a place in our country. That's the name of a province. And there was a huge uproar about that because one of our boy bands actually said the name of the province, and he was like, "Oh, racist and whatever." No, it's just the name of a province in a country. So like, you know, just you're gonna hear it just because it's just a word for us. So like, so I can I my best friend here, my guy best friend is actually African American, and that's the reason I told him that just don't go to the Philippines if you're going to get offended. Just don't go there because that's just, but anyway, that's just an example. um there's many other things, like you have to give way to older people in Asia, in Korea, and in Japan. In Korea especially, you just have to give way to older people. Absolutely give way to older people. So because that's just the culture. We don't do it here in the US. Older people we call by their first name. You cannot do that in South Korea. Like you can't call them like an older person. You call them by the first name. That is very very offensive to them. But in the same breath, if we come here, then we don't expect you to address us with our honorific, right? So, but anyway, going back to this guy, is just uh, I absolutely hate that person with what he's doing, and I'm very, very happy for that. For that, someone actually stood up to him, and I hope that they just let him go. If he did that in the Philippines, lagot siya. BTS Forever 7 said, if he did that in the Philippines, lagot siya. Yeah. Because nobody's going to. That guy who punched it, like, for example, somebody, he's doing that, and somebody in the Philippines punches him, everyone's just going to help out. It's like the cop is not going to arrest the Filipino for standing up for our, like, our sacred place. Lara said Tito and Tita is safe here in the Philippines. Yeah. So if you go to the Philippines and there is an older person, you can call Tito or Tita. You don't have to call them by their first name. Foreigners desecrate American stuff all the time, and I hate them for it. Kanohin, I hate them for it. Like I am very particular whenever we have like I have friends visiting here. I am very very particular about the things that they can do and they shouldn't do. Um, so it's just I tell them don't be disrespectful. Like there are this is not your country, you're just a visitor. You're gonna have to be very very respectful of what we find to be sacred and our culture and all of those things. The Ebele chicks N word, it is a color in my language, Crayola, are writing yes, I know. I learned that because the company I used to work for, we have a lot of Latinos working there, and I hear them say that a lot. And then I finally asked them, it's like, why do you say that word? I thought you're not supposed to say that word. It's just a color in my country. It sounds like a willful bad behavior. That behavior would not be acceptable in the US. And yet he is trying to get away with it in other countries. Okay, it's literally just a color. One Hot Sean. It's literally just a color, according to One Hot Sean. I just used that as an example. I just wanted to make that clear. That's just an example. And as I've said, and I will say this again, I'm not going to say that word when I'm here in the US. Absolutely not. There's just no way in hell I'm going to say that word. But I can expect my entire country to adjust their sensitivities, to adjust our language for someone else's sensibilities, the same way I will not ask Asians to come here and expect Americans to adjust to them, right? It has to be mutual. So going back to this guy, he's just very very disrespectful. I know, but why is he free and not in jail? He is right now being indicted, so he's held in South Korea. That guy is held. Um, Hype should be tracking all of them 24/7. Hype, you mean? Uh, okay. Let's go for, there is a difference between saying n, oh, there's just a difference between that and the n word. To us, it's the same. You will hear all sorts of words. In the Philippines, you will hear all sorts of words. It doesn't matter. We don't have the same. It's just, let's not get fixated on that. Let's move on. I just thought of that because that's the easiest, the example that everyone can relate to it. But anyway, let's move on from that. The subject is this guy. It's just that I think, I hope South Korea actually indicts him and actually puts him in jail, and that, and I hope that he doesn't do this anymore. It doesn't like he's going to learn. He did apologize. He made a public apology in South Korea, but apparently he did the same thing in Japan, and then he went to South Korea and did the same thing. So he's not learning, right? He's not learning his lesson. So I hope that South Korea just indicts him. Okay, let's go back to talking about, um, Mama Roach or BTS. Mary Rose said, I am proud of my Filipino culture because at an early age, respect for another, be young or old, has been instilled in us. True. Um, I me said, I think 29 years or whatever is too long, but he needs some prison time. Oh, is that what they're saying, that he's gonna go to prison for 29 years? All right. So we are at an hour and a half. Do you have questions? Do you have questions about this issue about, um, Mama Roach, or anything else that you want to ask or talk about? The difference is that he wasn't detained in other countries. He can't leave SK right now. Yeah, he cannot leave South Korea. The man needs, Georgia said, the man needs to spend time in jail. Okay, Short TV is asking, Mama Roach is suing Dispatch, right? Yeah, he has a pending. She already has a pending case. Um she already sued Dispatch, and she sued several people in Hybe. So there is a pending case. So she's probably going to add this. She's probably going to add another. She's going to sue again. I mean, add another case, but she already has an existing case against them. Momo Hatsana is asking, can you explain why, if Ador files for injunction, is not a good move? Not necessarily that it is not a good move. There are several things. So she's asking why not Ador files for a case against newjeans for breach of contract. That is my interpretation to the question. Um, One reason could be that whoever files the case has the burden of proof, and they are probably trying to build a really strong case before they file. Um, Second is that so far, if all they are saying is lip service, that we are filing, that we're terminating the contract, but they continue to fulfill their obligations and checks continue to go to Hybe or Ador, then that is not, they're not, it's not a strong case against, on breach, because they're still fulfilling the obligations and they're still going through the channels. So they're just bad mouthing their company. So they are probably waiting for a really, really strong case. Now, probably they already have a strong case. It's just that they're taking some time for it to be prepared or waiting for some things. My gut is that Hybe and Ador would actually try and operate as usual. Nobody wants to go to court because it is expensive. Lawyers are expensive. And if you can just operate as usual, why not? So I think what Ador and Hybe will try to do is try to operate as usual, give them jobs, give them assignments, and see if they're going to fulfill their obligations. And of course, make sure that all checks go to Ador and Hybe. If Ador and Hybe continue to get the checks, if the group actually continues to fulfill their obligations, then it's not going to be a problem. They're just going to go on as is. So that is my gut feel. That's what they'll try to do. And they will just wait until somebody makes a mistake, a huge mistake, and then sue. Sinri 3, why is she suing Hybe, former CEO and a manager, if they have nothing to do with the Dispatch article? With the Dispatch article, or is she suing separately? She's suing separately. She's suing Hybe executives and Adore executives for something else, and she's suing Dispatch for something else. They are saying now, a lot of people are claiming that Dispatch is getting paid by Hybe. I doubt it, but I think maybe they're probably going to try and make that case as well. Ate just got in. Ate is a older girl, like an older sister. Um, Okay, this types of journalism has a budget for lawsuit. Oh, they probably are retaining lawyers for sure. Mandy's asking, why does Mama Roach feel like she can put negative stuff in the press, but it's unfair when it's done to her? She's so delusional. It works both ways. Um, she's using tactics that Hybe and Adore aren't willing to use, primarily lying. She has absolutely no problem lying. Um, and Hybe and Adore choose not to, primarily because they have shareholders to think of. They can't just lie, but that is the primary reason she has been just relentlessly going after Hybe and Adore, because she knows they won't lie and she will. She's willing to do that. Didi said, can you ask Army to vote Billboard for best BTS fans? We are in second place. So try and vote for best fans in Billboard. Didi said. I don't know what the link is for the voting. Georgia said, newjeans said that they would honor their current contracts. Are they scheduled to do any shows or do some advertisements? I think they have a year-end show, and I think they have like two or three ad commercials that they need, and endorsements that they need to shoot. So they said that they are going to fulfill all of those obligations. That's money, so I am assuming that they're going to fulfill those obligations. Is current government against Hybe for any reason? Um, they are saying that the current government absolutely hates Hybe because BTS refused to attend the inauguration of the current president when he was an incoming president. But they did some things for the former president. So remember, the former president actually sent them to the United Nations as envoys. So they had the diplomatic passports, if you would remember that. So they felt that that was like a sign that BTS was willing to do things for the former government. But when they were invited to the inauguration of the current government, the current president, they did not go. There were some talks, unconfirmed, but there were some rumors that BTS was actually going to get offered not an exemption but an alternative service. In exchange, they're going to have to perform for some government events. They're going to have to do things for the government. And BTS was just not interested in it because they know that they're going to be in the beck and call of the government, something that they're not willing to do. So they just signed. They enlisted in the military. That part, the last thing that I said, that is pure rumors. I have nothing to back it up, just street talk. But that is why those are some of the reasons they are hated by the current government. Um, all right, I'm looking for questions. Question regarding minheejin, who had the extramarital affair? There is no evidence. Okay. So the uncle, then this is just rumor. There has to be like, I should have the ability to type it here. This is rumors. So apparently, Mama Roach, again, this is just a rumor. Mama Roach has an extramarital affair with the director, the music video director of New Jeans, the one that they call uncle. But there is no proof. These are just people saying that they are having an affair, but there's no proof. I think the one thing that really got to Mama Roach is the fact that she has been positioning herself as a no nonsense kind of CEO, a nonsense kind of person, that she's just concerned about work, that she just wants to think about the girls, think about art. And then she was talking about giving away her money. And then here comes news about her flirting. It was so out, it was so off brand. In other words, this is absolutely the opposite of the brand that she was trying to build. Um, and I think that is what really got to her and got to a lot of people. Like, holy crap, like you have this side of you that you are. In other words, people see her as a hypocrite. Like, you have been passing yourself on as this righteous, workaholic, no nonsense, I don't care about all of these things kind of person. And then here you are texting people about flirting with somebody, about having sex with them, about thinking that you can make them fall in love with you with sex. With sex. Okay, have you heard anything about what's happening with JK in the military, or the rumors of bullying true? Connie is asking. Um, my stand has always been, unless Jungkook or Big Hit or Hybe says anything about it, then we shouldn't pay attention to it. So that's one. Second, what kind of evidence did this YouTubers or this bloggers or this posters on Twitter and Facebook and whatever, what kind of evidence do they have? Were there pictures? Were there videos that proves though that was JK without a shadow of a doubt? Because it's so easy to spew things without having to present proof, right? I can say whatever. I work for Hybe and not have to say like I don't work for Hybe, but I can just say it and not present proof. That's how easy it is. And as I've said, when it comes to freedom of speech, even lies are protected. Third, do we honestly think that Jungkook is going to allow himself to be bullied? That's number three. Number four, do we honestly think that Jimin is going to allow that Jungkook is going to be bullied? Remember, those two are serving together. They're sleeping in the same quarters. They're together every day. So my advice is, don't give these people clicks. Don't pay attention to it. Report the channel, because they have absolutely no business impeding in the privacy of BTS. Sakura is saying the Dispatch article coined the Minunggil duo, or An Sunggil, the 50-50 tampering, and that also got under her skin. So a lot of people are comparing her to 50-50, to comparing newjeans to 50-50. 50-50 was manipulated by somebody else to try and break their contract from Attract. So they sued to get their contract terminated. The court sided with Attract. So people are now comparing them to 50-50. And Mama Roach absolutely hates it. Who knows, Mama Roach might also encourage the girls to flirt with big time guys to their advantage. I mean, that is the one thing I hope the parents are actually reading. They know about these things, because I am absolutely not going to allow my daughter. I don't have one, but the girl that I helped raise, I absolutely am not going to allow her to hang out with somebody like this one. Georgia said Jimin would kick their asses. Yeah, I honestly, I don't see, first and foremost, Jungkook allowing that to happen. He can very well stand up for himself. He doesn't need anybody. He's strong enough to do it for himself. But he also has Jimin with him. The guy doesn't have the best of temper. I don't know if you know that, but he's not going to allow that. So, no way. But then again, and this is the bottom line, the only time it is going to be our business is if they start talking about it. Did okay, Barbara is asking, did Hybe lose $433 million when Old Shorts made that announcement per Google News? It's just stock. So stock goes up and down. So people are gonna sell, people are gonna buy, sell, buy, sell, buy. It's just the like as a reaction. Like for example, when when Warren Buffett when Warren Buffett started spreading the news that he was selling Apple, he started selling his Apple. So he has favorite stocks. Warren Buffett, the billionaire, he has favorite stocks: Coca Cola, Apple is one of them, several others. And then word got out that he started selling Apple, some of his stocks in Apple, which he has been holding on for such a long time. So the word got out, and for a while, Apple stocks started tanking. After several days, it started going up again because people are looking at saying, "Oh, it's down. A good time to buy. Let's buy." So it goes up again. It's just stocks. It's just it's so volatile. So the financial analysts discounted Smarty Pants from Hybe's financial projection last quarter. Okay, Talia is. I'm looking for questions. Uh, Talia, is it true that the investors won't invest in trainees training that want to become K-pop idols if NJs win? Okay, the so her question is, if the five girls win, if newjeans actually win, is it going to cause investors to stop investing in K-pop? Um, Probably that's going to start happening, because if I'm an investor and I know that I am going to invest, and if I know that this industry is not protected by the government, then I'm not going to invest in that, because you're not going to protect my investment. I'm going to put my money there. So I want to put my money in an industry that the government will protect. So if you're not going to protect the entertainment industry, I'm not going to invest money in there, because then I'm going to lose my money. You're just going to always favor the employees and the talents and not take care of me. But even though it is my money, that's actually pumping blood into that industry. So that there is a good possibility that's going to happen. It's going to discourage people from investing in K-pop. And it is not a good time to do that, because the industry, music industry of other countries are starting to pick up because of K-pop. So Jane is asking, is this patch article making noise in SK? What are the KNet's position? Of course, it's going to depend on what you're going to be reading. If you read Panchoa, it's going to look like the entire country is against Hybe. But the general, like just the general public, is just astounded. They absolutely hate what Mama Roach and the five girls are doing. So they just, number one, they just can't really wrap their heads around what they are doing. Like, why you think you can just break a contract like that, right? They can't. So the general consensus is they are starting to look like, I'm trying to be nice. These girls are starting to be unlikable. Cat Tiger Teggy Cult. Why do these people think NJ will win? Because they hate Hybe. So anything that can bring down Hybe, they will favor. Patty, can she really sue Dispatch and win? Can she sue Dispatch? She can sue Dispatch. Can she win? Anything is possible. But for as long as Dispatch is not, it is, whatever Dispatch is doing is protected by their freedom to actually do what they're doing. That is protected by the government, by their law, their law. So if they can be sued for defamation, um, they will probably be forced. So what's going to, the worst that can happen is if the court forces them to reveal their source. Usually if you're a journalist and you have a source, your number one thing is you do not ever reveal your source, even if they throw you in jail. In the US, they won't win. She won't win even if she sues for defamation. For South Korea, I don't see her winning unless she starts sleeping with the judge. What is people's problem? Meet. What is people's problem with Hybe? Hybe is not SM. Their problem is that they're too successful, and that is because of BTS. And I've said in my Twitter or X post that the one thing they don't like about about BTS is that they can't create anything that can compete with the quality of the work of BTS. So they are doing the only thing they know they can do, and that is to destroy them. Um, okay. Looking for questions. When do you think this Hybe and MH drama will be over? I think it's going to be over next year, third or fourth quarter, because when BTS comes back, South Korea is going to be all over the news internationally. And they will just talk about BTS, and everyone's going to try and hang on and get a piece of BTS, and they will do anything and everything that they can to try and get the attention of BTS. Okay, kidding aside, I do think it's going to be over right around next year. There is going to be some conclusion into that right around third quarter of next year, and it's going to be influenced by BTS, no less. For sure, it's going to be influenced by what BTS is going to do. And I'm not kidding that it's going to be everything is just going to be about BTS. So, and the name is going to be so strong. The comeback is going to be so strong that there is absolutely nothing anybody can do to take away the attention from BTS. So, next question. Funex, did you see the statement about new jeans by the Korean Management Association? Yes. So, for the benefit of everybody, according to the Korean Management Association, they absolutely do not support what new jeans is doing, and they are encouraging them to come back to Hybe or Ador. And they're saying that this is going to discourage other investors from investing in K-pop, that this is not how you do business, so they are encouraging them to come back to Adore or Hybe. MG, what about Promise 9 not renewing their contract? Okay, MG, are they profitable? Is Promise 9 profitable? That's my question. Are they profitable? If you're a businessman, the kind of success that they have, is this something that you think you can become profitable in, that your company is going to grow because of this level of success? I'm not. So, in my last live stream, I told you guys that being an entrepreneur requires you to do a lot of unkind things, right? Unkind things. And I've mentioned before that at some point in your growth, if you're trying to grow your business, you're going to have to fire people who aren't doing anything wrong. You just need to fire them for the benefit of the company. I made a very, very concrete example. I have a small business, a very, very small business. And several times I've had to fire people, not because they did anything wrong, but simply because I didn't need them anymore, because I was able to automate the thing that they are doing. Another person, I was able to find someone else that's cheaper, that will do exactly the thing that they are doing and then some. They didn't do anything wrong. Absolutely nothing. They were good at their job. It's just that I didn't need them anymore. So I fired them. It's so unkind, almost evil, because they did not earn that. Like, they didn't earn that. They worked hard and they are nice and that they're good people. But, and it's not like I'm losing money because of them. It's just that I know I can be profitable if I do something else. So, in this case with Promise 9, I don't know much about them. But the question that people should be asking is, are they successful enough to grow the company? Or is it better for the company to look for somebody else that will probably become more successful? So, that is a question. That is the answer to the question. Me too. When do you think the movie will come out? Who will play Banshee? I do think I feel like Anne Hathaway will be perfect for Mama Roach. Don't you think? Anne Hathaway will be perfect for Mama Roach. The only other person that I think can play her role, it's two ends of the spectrum. It's just that, yeah, Anne Hathaway I think is going to be perfect for her role. Or but she's too young. Elizabeth Olsen I think is going to be perfect for Mama Roach. For Bang Shiyuk, I definitely think George Clooney. That hasn't changed, and I can't find anybody that can be better. Um, yeah, that's the only. They are the only ones. But George Clooney is the only. Do you think? Can you think of anybody else? Um, all right. Looking for questions. Isn't Anne Hathaway white? Yeah, but if it's going to be a Hollywood movie. Lee, how about Michelle Yeoh for Min Hee-jin is just in her 40s, right? Kathy Swamp Queen, you mean you lay them off? Okay. You mean you lay them off, not fired. Firing someone means they didn't do their job or went against said company. Lay them off. Diana, what if a plot twist happens and Minheejin and SM go against each other and Hybe end up keeping New Jeans or a member or two of New Jeans? I honestly kind of want them gone at this stage. Cindy, but that is not business wise. That's not a good thing to do. They, Hybe should keep them for sure from a business perspective. Okay. Um, looking for other questions. What do you think? A question from Azucena. What do you think of Gfriend's comeback? And it's one of those things that actually surprised me. It seems that they're in very, very good terms with Source Music. Good for them. Good for them. I've always thought that they were very, very creative and they were very talented. It's just that I just think it wasn't the right. This is just my opinion. I think it was just the wrong type of music for them. Um, Purple Orb. Did anyone notice Herin kind of look aloof about the controversy? Is Herin the youngest, or is she the one with the cat eye? Lucy Liu would be great for Minheejin, but Minheejin is just in her 40s, isn't she? Brad Pitt for Bang PD. Brad Pitt. Oh yeah, Brad Pitt or Matt Damon. Brad Pitt or Matt Damon. I would love for Ben Affleck to direct the movie. I like him as a director. Um, Hadieta, is there a time where Minhee has to repay her loan to Bang Shiyuk, and can she get out of it now? I think it is right around this time because as far as I know, her loan is co-terminus with her stay in Ador. So she should be paying it now. Sarah Jessica Parker for Mama Roach. But they're too old for her. She's just in her 40s. It's us. Is it true that New Jeans already left High Building and not going to work except for activities? I sure hope that they already left the building, but they seem to have hinted in it seems that that's what they're saying, that they're just going to work with people that they want to work with in that case. And if they are terminating their contract, they shouldn't be going to the building. I surely hope that the 16th floor is going to be free for when BTS actually comes back. What about Gong Li? One hot Shan for Bangshuk. One hot Shan, she doesn't look 40. So existing psychology said Mama Roach is 44 years old. Okay. Let's do several more questions. Let's do a couple more and then we can. Okay. I think she needs a makeover. She always looks unkept, or is it part of her strategy? Okay. Probably that's her like branding. HHK, they are still in Japan right now. I think they're still in Japan. They haven't gone back. Okay. Any other question before I go? Uh, what happened? Claire is asking, what happened to the shareholders agreement contract termination Hybe filed in court? Have they set the date? It has not been. The judge hasn't given its his decision, so they're still hearing it. Leandra, is it true that? Oh, okay, okay. Let's see if there's any other question. Um, so would be willing to risk working with the snake, or would anybody be willing to work with them? Is that your question? Me too. How do you think the new jeans girls are handling this? um I think not every I think there's a ring leader. I think there's somebody there who's like strong-willed and just like running the show for the rest of the girls. I do think there's one or two in there that's a little shaky and unsure of everything that's happening. There always is that one person, always. So I think there's one or two that's like really steadfast and very loyal to Mama Roach and just doing this and then calling the shots. But I do think as well that there's one or two in there that's so unsure. But then also I hope I am pretty sure that at least one of them is getting that thing in their head about the doubt, like, is this the right thing to do for our career? Minji, the ringleader, you know what, I don't think it is Minji. Which is kind of, because she's my bias, and when she became the leader I was like, but there is this incident. I remember watching this show, their one of their YouTube videos, when Minji, or maybe this is just me putting like interpreting this too much, uh like putting too much meaning into something that it's isn't. Maybe that's it, but I'm just going to share it. I remember watching one of their videos when they were rehearsing and Minji wanted to review their rehearsal. Like, she wanted to go back to some of their rehearsals and review, spot the things that they need to improve or whatever. And I remember, I'm pretty sure it was Henny who actually like went to the other room and did not do what Minji wanted to do. And she just started rehearsing. And I think she got one girl or two girls with her to go with her to rehearse. And then on camera, of course, they were joking around and like saying that, like, oh, monitoring again. Why do we want to monitor? We've already monitored. Like, why can't we just rehearse or something like that? And they were like kidding around. So that's why I said maybe this is just me putting too much meaning into something that is not supposed, that doesn't really mean anything. But I was just thinking in my head, like, if this was J Hope who told the boys, we're gonna monitor, we're gonna sit our ass down and watch all the 10 videos of us in the past 10 days rehearsing this thing, the rest of the boys are going to say, yep, we're going to sit our ass down and monitor. That's what we're going to do, because that's what the dance leader wants to do. That was just in my head. Maybe because I'm just like so used to how BTS actually works to get the actually how BTS, the members, work together, that I felt something was wrong. Maybe that is just not how they work, right? Maybe that's just not their dynamics. And I'm just, as I've said, maybe it's just me putting too much meaning into something that isn't supposed to mean anything. But I remember that happening, and I that was just one of the, like, I felt like you should be doing what she's saying because she's your leader. And it's not like she's asking you to do something unreasonable, right? She wants to monitor, just go back and see the things that that you can improve or whatever. So that's why I thought, like, I thought in that maybe she's still young, she needs a little bit more experience to be able to really do. And sorry, and that's, by the way, that is true not just for BTS, but like even got 7, if JB, their leader, if JB tells the rest of the boys that they're going to do something, they do it. No questions asked. And I've seen that in Mamamoo, when Solar, the leader, calls the other 3 girls to do something, they just do it, no questions asked. So it was just like, but maybe they were joking around. Who knows, right? Maybe, again, maybe this is just me putting too much meaning into something that is not supposed to mean anything. Okay. Um, Jimin's shoulder. What did BTS do? Anything wrong? They didn't not do anything wrong. The only thing that they did wrong is that they weren't clear about the meaning of hiatus. I thought that when they said that they're going to serve in the military, it means like, oh, 2 years, we're just going to catch up in old content, save money so that when they come back, we have a lot of money. Apparently, that is not what they meant when they said that they were going to serve in the military. It means they are going to serve in the military. In the meantime, we're going to do our own work here. That is the only thing that they did wrong. Other than that, everything's peachy. I still have no money saved for their comeback. Haven't caught up in their content, the usual. Um, Bang Luna, it's not their fault that Army thought we wouldn't we would also have a hiatus. But they said they were going to serve the military. All the other groups who served in the military, guess what they did? They just served in the military. And their fans just waited. Apparently, it's a different thing when it comes to BTS. But, what can we do? Okay. All right. So true. I think that makes Ophelia said so true. And I think that makes others hate them more because others had not thought of it as extensively. Okay. Apple Bangpa said, I can't believe I cried when RM cried about the hiatus. I think they really don't want to serve. I think they don't have a choice. Like, okay, let me correct myself. I think they want to serve because it's something that they want, that they need to do for their country. But like, given a choice, I don't think that's something that they will do. And that's why I am against required drafting. Like, I don't like asking people to do something that they don't want to do. Patty said BTS best hiatus ever. Not very best for my bank account. BTS paved the way, said, and I'm broke. My postie told me he feels like part of our family. So many reverse books. That's funny. Namjoon crying, I can't handle it. So BTS Forever 7 said the hiatus broke my wallet. Yeah, it broke my wallet. It broke my confidence. I really thought I can catch up with their content, but I am more behind now than I was 2 years ago. I'm so behind. Hiatus, they lied. All men do is lie. I'm kidding. The dinner was stressful. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. It's been 2 hours. Thank you so much for being here. I did find out something that if I edit, so if I upload after the live stream and if I edit, they take out the live chat. So now but because I like recommending songs and whatever, I need to sort of find out what I can do to avoid getting the live chat taken down. But thank you everybody. um Thank you for being here. I know it's a Monday night for some of you, but I appreciate you being here. If you have any requests for any topic, let me know. I will do it in my next live. By the way, before I go, uh, I thought my dog wants to say hi. He just backtracked. Oh, maybe he wants to say hi, or maybe he doesn't. Okay. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, let me see if I can get him to say hi. Hi. Say bye, baby. Bye, everybody. Bye, bye. Bye, bye. Bye, bye. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye, bye. Please follow him. Follow him on one OnlyFans. I'm going to open an OnlyFans. Bye, everybody. Only fans for him. Bye.